All right, so I'm Dave Dimas, and I'm on the faculty in mechanical engineering. Just to give you a little background, I have been using Canvas for the last 2 or 3 years, and I use it as an adjunct to my live classes because I just found the structure and then turning in homework assignments and all that kind of stuff was easier for the kids to keep track of. So I had been using some of the basic structure of it quite a bit. Myself and my colleagues actually did some studies, and we looked at one of the issues that we were trying to look at, which was, do students, if you provide a recorded lecture to the students prior to or after the class, and they know that they're going to have a recorded lecture available, and this was before COVID, will they still come to class? Was one of our studies. And we found out that most of our students, especially not the real top of the class, but the ones right below that, the ones that are kind of really studying hard to get their A, those people would take everything that we would give them. So we did a lot of studies, and one of the other things that I used in the course design that we're working on here is we learned that chunking things up into small bites was a good idea. So this is the course that I'm teaching next quarter. It's a mechanical engineering course. And in this course, and from wonderful discussions here in this course and with Jennifer, I learned a lot about just the structure of how things work, the pedagogy, the approach to really connecting. And I think that's one thing I learned during this course is, how to connect a little bit better. Because with the technical engineering students, it tends to be tougher. These are larger classes, and students even in class don't ask a lot of questions. We have found that they ask more questions actually online. So the structure of the class is pretty, we went through it this quarter and made it fairly easy to follow. We had a lot of this information, like, what readings are assigned this week. All of that was in the course syllabus up here, but through the work with Jennifer, we put them into each week just to over communicate and kind of over connect with the class. Same thing with the Zoom meetings. The link for that, we found this last quarter that students just got a little lost, so they sometimes had trouble finding the link. So we put it in every single course, and we try to maintain the exact same structure. So every class has a roadmap, very simple. What are we covering this week's? Again, this information was and is covered in the course syllabus, but I think it works so much better when you pull it out every week so that it's within the shell of the class, within the flow of the class, and it's more accessible to the students. The other thing that we did is add polling to every week. And polling from the research that we did is a really good way, whether it's, and we researched, or we looked at in this class with Jennifer, we looked at a lot of ways to do polling, whether it's right in the middle of a lecture inside Zoom and connect it out to poll everywhere, or whether it's inside a PowerPoint. All of those things, when you're asking a question, it helps the students connect with the class. And that's important in general, but even more important when we're teaching everything remotely like we are right now. So we added more polls, and I'm going to add a few more. The only thing I haven't resolved yet is when we do a poll in as part of a PowerPoint, you can download a little add-on to PowerPoint and pull anywhere is then a choice from the top of PowerPoint. The only trouble is some grading, because when they do it live, when you do PowerPoint, it's a little it's disjoint, and then the students that aren't able to listen live, they have to do something different. But we're working on how to fix that. But either way, the polling in the class and the muddiest point and the clearest point are something that we added in to every week. Again, we're going to take this guy out, which I should have done already. And then again, trying to keep the exact same flow. You notice I've already got some of the recorded lectures up there. I didn't post them yet because I want to try to get the students to come to the live lecture, because I think that's better. But I really wanted them to do that first, but they are up there, as you see, and they're in a structure that they can easily find them. And then again, every week's kind of the same style, the same flow. And this is, from user interface design. I ran a software company for a long time, and it's so important to have the same kind of navigation, the same kind of flow each week, I think, for the students, in order to make sure that it's easy for them to find stuff. Because all of us, all of our courses look a little bit different, and that I think, it's important within the class it'd be the same. We did, based on a lot of suggestions I got from Jennifer, we started up with a really nice, and she helped me lay this out, a real nice little, welcome message and a connection to the students there at the beginning. The syllabus is already also there. And she helped me lay out a much better looking page here. Again, all of this information is in the syllabus, but it's just laid out a much more friendly here, more connections to some of the same places of where you get your homework files, things like that, where you get the tools. I think this is a much clearer and much more consumable layout of where information is and what you need, technical information for the course, remote learning resources. So, it's more welcoming and inclusive and easier to navigate. And the last thing that I'll just talk about real quick is I did do a little bit of this. You guys gave us a poll, not a poll, but some ideas on how to connect with the students. I made it a little bit smaller than what DTAI had suggested, but I did ask a few questions, mostly just to be able to connect and say, hey, I'm here for you. I will be flexible. I want to know about your situation. And I think that's really important. The course I'm teaching this quarter is just ending, and a lot of the students are just reaching out, and they're stressed, and a lot of my communication to them is more along the lines of, we'll take care of you. Don't worry. Focus on your health. And I wanted to start this next quarter's class with a similar sentiment for the students.